Hayward. How you doing?
Keep your eyes open. Don't trust a word I say, but keep your own eyes open. You might get a shock.
Good evening.
Hello, Joe.
Hey, Joe Horrible.
It's Stretch, actually, or Honcho if you're on the West Coast, Stretch if you're on the East Coast, Burra Boy, Derek Hayward. How you doing? Sitting Boris,
Very well,
Boris in this. Well, to be fair, I think I'm alright, to be fair. You know, I've not been interfered with in cladding anyway, you know. The last thing I heard that I saw, I've only popped on, I will leave quite quickly. All right. The last time I saw that people were outside the cladding, there was a certain Labour guy that came up and said, "Oh, there's only been one thing." Did he forget how multiple young boys were, you know, had the power took off them? You understand what I'm saying? I think the boxer, the Hibs boy, they got shot with a shotgun, told yous they want to take the power and he wouldn't do that. That's exactly what they were doing, these individuals in the cladding. There's been multiple times in Falkirk, and I just live in Bowness, yeah, EH51, yeah. I'm not from here. I come from Broomhouse in Edinburgh, and we don't need to worry about what they've been doing to the young boys. That does not get reported because sometimes these individuals are, say, known to the police, and that way, it doesn't matter anymore. All right? Falkirk's very, very Central Scotland Police. Well, let's be honest, guys. They let people die on the M8. They were Falkirk Fair people too, weren't they? They just left them there for 3 days. You know, remember that big thing about the boy and the girl in the slipway for 3 days? Well, that's Central Scotland Police. That's Falkirk guys, to be fair. Right. You know? And I know, because I'm ex-forces, 1st Band Royal Scots, Royal Regiment, 1st of Foot. yeah, 1 Scots, if you're young enough. Yeah. We know that it's a 15-mile-an-hour thing down the Cowgate, and they can't find the fucking bus that chopped somebody's head off with no blood on the street. And we're still wondering, how did that happen? The same reason why these individuals are taking the power off our young boys are the same people that did that in the Grassmarket, no? You would think that such a street like that, 50-mile-per-hour zone, next to the vaults, Bannerman's just opposite it. Yeah. Next to it, that takes you to the Tron, and all those hotels. You'd think somebody would have seen what bus it was travelling at 50 miles an hour that took that white man's head off him with no blood and no bus. Am I missing something here yet? Or am I just being obtuse? I'll mute myself so you can respond.
Okay.
Well, other than the bus thing, I kind of not got a clue much what you're talking about because you're quite bland and no. I'm lost. I don't know what you're talking about. The boys taking the power and stuff like that. So really
well. What is it? What is it? If you're a male and you get buggered, is that not them taking your power? Now we all know there was a boxer, right, Hibs boy, and he told you all. Yeah, he told you all, He says, no, I wasn't into that. They wanted to take the power off them, and I would not play that game. What he meant was he was not a bugger. And you do realise that because, to be fair, you're 55, right? You know what I mean, brother? You're not exactly... I know you can't agree or acknowledge too much because it is your platform. Well, you do know what that guy that you do realise what that Hibs casual was talking about when he said, "I would not take the power off the boys."
Right.
We all know that certain people in Edinburgh, they'll take the power off you, but you need to be forced to be bent over. Now, that's the same thing that happens in the cladding outside multiple times. This is why
Yeah, there's a
you
man.
turn up.
There's a man.
You understand what I'm saying, right?
No, really. No.
Well, if you don't understand, then what's the point of me being here? Do I
Well,
need
if you
to
want to tell
explain
us
it
what you're
or
trying to say.
elaborate better? I'm trying to say
Well,
that the
explain.
reason why that Labour guy turned up, and said there's only been one
What
rape
Labour
that's
guy?
happened here. Well, the first time you were at the cladding, if you looked in BBC Scotland and everything else, there was a certain charge hand that turned up, and said, oh, these people aren't from here. There's only been one person convicted in Falkirk on a little girl. But you weren't just talking about little girls getting raped, were you? You were talking about the
No,
males that had been raped at the cladding, and that Police Scotland just ignored and hidden. Is that not why you were there?
I wasn't at the first one. Mate, Joe, you sound as if you're here to argue with somebody.
I'm not.
I
I'm
don't-
just here to figure out. I'm
Right.
just here to figure out if we all know what everybody here knows, and why, if we do, we're not discussing it.
What is it you want to discuss, Joe? What is it you're trying to be cryptic about and talk really clever?
I'm
and
not
stuff?
being
Just put it-
cryptic. I want to understand why it is that we
Well, you're talking
allow.
about a guy.
um,
You're talking. Right, stop a minute. Right.
I'm talking about a
You're
Labour
talking about-
councillor that turned up on the first time and said, "I don't know
Why are you
why they're
shouting?
protesting at the
Joe,
cladding."
Joe,
I'm
Joe.
not actually shouting. I'm not shouting. I've
No,
just
you
got
are.
a
You
gamer
are.
head. I'm
Right,
not.
keep-
I'm not.
just
I've got a gamer
relax.
headset. It's a £200 Turtle Beach. That's all it is.
Wow.
I'll turn myself
delighted for you.
down. I'll turn myself down. That's all it is. I'll turn myself
Great.
down. I'll, like 2 ticks. 2 ticks. I'll hit my settings. I'll just change it to automatically adjust volume, and hopefully that's better. Is that any better?
You're talking.
Is it
you're
any
talking
better?
quiet. It's great. It's fantastic, guy. Right.
Cool,
so,
cool.
what is it you're trying to say? Stop talking in riddles. Just if you get something you want to say it. But don't.
The very first time that everybody went to protest at the cladding in Falkirk, there was a Labour charge hand, all right, Labour supporter, councillor, whatever, and he turned up and said, "I don't know why they're protesting. There's only been one tourist that has been convicted of anything, and I find it's really bad that they accuse everybody else." But that individual does not actually realise that at the cladding, multiple young males have been raped outside. And because they were known to the police for being Jack the Lad, whatever, it was not even, it just gone. And if you know people that live in the Falkirk area, then you'll know what I'm saying, because that's what they're annoyed about. And that's why I came on to ask the question.
That's not,
you know,
right. What is the question?
Why is it that we just want to see that seemingly the powers that be say, oh, it's not any local people, it's always people that turn up, but nobody's talking about the male grapes that have been happening in Falkirk over the last 5 years. Nobody wants to talk about the Mad Turk shit either, did they? No. I wonder why. Is it because everybody's controlled, or is it because the Lodge gave up and they let the Mad Turk Tarek win?
Joe, maybe it's because nobody's aware of it. I mean, the 2 seconds, mate, right?
Fair comment, I'll mute myself.
2 seconds, mate, right? You got to remember, right, a lot of stuff gets kept away from the public eye, right? So unless people are aware of what's going on, you'll never truly know what goes on. The reason for the protests outside the cladding was because there was a 31-year-old guy raped, a 15-year-old lassie raped, and a 12-year-old boy raped. And then there was a series of sexual assaults that had been reported in that area. So that's what highlighted, that's what started the protests outside the cladding. But what you're talking about there is like a cover up. And
There's
if
been
it's
multiple.
covered up, it's not going to.
There's been multiple things happened at the Claddon. Multiple things happened at the Claddon. It's
I'm
been
not
covered
disputing
up
that.
by Police Scotland.
Mate, I'm not
Fact.
disputing that. I don't think
I'm not saying you
anybody
are. I thought
don't-
you knew this, to be fair. I thought
No,
you
but
knew
I
this,
don't
to be
think
fair.
anybody knows about it, Joe. This is the thing. This is what Craig's trying to make the point. I mean,
I do apologise, Craig.
No,
you know?
no, I don't think you need to
I'm not
apologise,
sorry,
what you're
but you
saying-
get what I mean. I'm
I
sorry,
get
but I'm no
Joe.
sorry. I thought you knew.
No,
I thought
Joe.
that's why
Joe,
I was
Joe.
like, "What do you mean?" When I was
Right,
explaining,
Joe,
you know what I mean. I
hold
do
on.
apologise.
Right, 2 seconds, mate. Right, there's no need to apologise, right? But the fact of the matter is, we know things get covered up historically, even before all this thing with the hype. We could go into historical.
Like
cover-ups
California
and
and Falkirk, where they had a Wiccan. See, Falkirk Council are actually well known for this. If you go pay attention, right, there was a certain thing in Falkirk, and anybody that knows what I'm talking about will understand, all right? There was a certain charity that dealt with hereditary older people that had been interfered with. They were given a dossier that had been acquired, shall we say, from Falkirk Council. And Falkirk Council, when they figured out that certain charity just off the high street, was going to give the dossier that had been posted through their door anonymously, they reduced the funding, and we didn't get to find out about California. Now, California is a place in Falkirk, where there's lots of police, and lots of police are there because they got a Wiccan there, the butcher, the baker, the candlestick maker, and they hid it. And they sent them all over Scotland.
The thing is, Joe, right? You're bringing up stuff that nobody knows about.
I can, but history repeats itself, and it only repeats itself because people hide it.
But we're not hiding anything. We're trying.
I never said you are.
We're
of
trying
course.
to find the truth. Do you know what I mean?
Of course.
And
I've gave you the charity. I've gave you the charity that got its funding cut by 50% by Falkirk Council when they were given a dossier that proved the California thing, and the fact that a Labour done a deal so they could all disappear. See, how Scotland is, right? We're really slow in catching up. Yeah. And if you want to go look at it, when you look at RBS libel scam, right? Did we not find that in Scots law there was a certain mechanism that allowed you to invest in drug dealing, prostitution, child and all that stuff, even arms dealing? And the SNP government did say, we're going to shut that down. They ain't shut it down, people. It's still active. It's probably the same way how Prince Charles, you remember when BA, they got asked, what are those $50 million extra? And then Charles went, You know why that was? Because you know that upgrade for Trident? Because we'd already sold it to the Saudis.
Right, I can't cope. You're jumping from Charles to Saudis to Trident to the bank to the council.
Because it's all interlinked. It's all interlinked. If you believe for 1 second
Joe,
that anything that you interact with is not the same thing. Listen, what does government mean to you? In Latin, it means mind control.
Joe, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to hit the mute button. I'm going to
I'll mute myself.
Oh my God. I'm going to talk for about maybe 30 to 60 seconds, Joe. I would love you just to listen, right? See this knowledge that you've got. You're up at a 10 out of 10 with it. And you're talking to people in the room that are at a 1 out of 10 with it. So if you talk the language of a 10 out of 10, nobody's going to be able to follow you. I'll give you a hint. If you want to drag folk from a 1 up to a 2, 3 or a 4, talk to them at a level 2 or a 3, right? And they'll understand you. But you've came on here and you've said a lot of words, right? And you're jumping from one to the other in half sentences and noise, a Labour, right? And folk are like, what is Joe talking about? Joe knows what Joe's talking about because Joe's at a 10, a level 10. The majority of people that you're talking to in this audience right now are at a level 1 or a 2. And they don't understand what you're saying, me included.
Fair play.
Right, so on that note, I'm going to pull the stream to an end because we've been at it nearly 4 hours and I need my wee pit. So thank you very much to everybody that's listened. Thank you very much to everybody who's come up and spoke, especially our new first-time callers. There's a couple of them tonight, Joe, etc. Great that AY's come in, and Kevin has been here for almost the full duration, as is DJR Media.
Patty Tara Reef's away.
Reef, I know.
Oh, Tana Reef's
Right.
funny. But we can't talk about you've changed.
The Tara
I know,
Reef's
I know.
No, I'm sorry,
I
but
know.
that is